Welcome to CtrlShiftTech by DTG.
Great to be here.
We're doing a deep dive today, looking at some pretty big moves happening in AI. Specifically, Grok and OpenAI have been making waves.
Yeah, lots of activity. You send over some articles, and that YouTube demo was quite something.
Definitely. So our plan today is to sort of break down these announcements, Grok Studio, OpenAI's new models, Codex CLI, that potential Windsurf acquisition.
Right, and figure out what it all actually means. What's the takeaway? Why should people listening care?
Exactly. Cut through the noise, find those aha moments, hopefully without getting too bogged down.
Sounds like a plan. So first up is Grok Studio from XAI. This sounds like it could change how people use the Grok chatbot quite a bit.
It does. TechCrunch called it a canvas-like feature. That immediately makes me think, okay, more interactive, maybe more visual.
Yeah, that seems to be the idea. It lets users apparently edit and create documents, maybe even some basic apps right there with Grok.
Like a workspace connected to the AI.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, they rolled it out for both free and paying users on Grok.com. That's according to their official X account.
Oh, okay. So not just a premium feature. What can it actually do?
Well, they're saying Grok can now generate, documents, code, reports. They even mention browser games.
Browser games. Seriously?
Seems like it. The key thing is Grok Studio opens the content in a separate window, so it feels like you and Grok are collaborating.
Right, like you're working on something together, not just asking questions and getting text back. That feels different.
It really does. And to help with that collaboration, they've also added Google Drive integration.
Ah, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so you can attach your docs, spreadsheets, slides, whatever, directly from Drive into your prompts. Cuts down on the copy-paste hassle.
Definitely useful. Save time. Now, TechCrunch did point out this isn't like a completely brand new idea, right?
Good point. Yeah, they mentioned similar things from OpenAI, Canvas for ChatGPT, and Anthropic had artifacts for Claude.
So this interactive workspace thing might be becoming the standard.
It kind of seems that way. Users want more than just chat. Functionally, Grok Studio lets you preview HTML, run code Python, C++, JavaScript.
You see the output right there.
Yeah, the content you're working on appears to the right of Grok's responses, so you get that immediate feedback loop.
Okay, that's pretty neat. Let's switch gears then. OpenAI, they haven't been quiet. New models, O3 and O4 Mini.
Right. And the naming still feels a bit weird, doesn't it? O3 being the more powerful one this time around.
Yeah, Ars Technica mentioned that confusion too. But okay, naming aside, what's the big deal with these models?
So they combine what OpenAI calls simulated reasoning capabilities with access to all the tools, browsing, coding, the works.
All the tools.
Yeah.
Including vision.
Including vision, yeah. Image generation, too. It's the first time their reasoning-focused models have had that full toolkit. It's a pretty powerful mix.
Simulated reasoning. That sounds ambitious, like they're trying to make it think more step by step.
That's the impression. Both Ars Technica and that. Every newsletter piece hit on this. It's about breaking down problems, figuring out how to solve them.
And using the tools automatically.
Dynamically, yeah. They give this example of analyzing California's future energy use. The model might decide, okay, I need web data, then maybe I need to run some code for forecasting, make a graph, all from one prompt.
Wow. That's much more agent-like, less passive.
Exactly. And they're multimodal, too. They can think with images, as OpenAI puts it.
Think with images, so more than just recognizing objects.
Yeah, understanding sketches, diagrams, even messy whiteboard drawings, apparently. You could upload a concept map, maybe, and discuss it.
Okay, that could be incredibly useful.
Okay.
Especially for visual stuff. So who get these new brains?
It's rolling out now for ChatGPT Plus Pro and Team users. Enterprise and Edu are coming next week.
Any access for free users?
They can try a 4 Mini via a Think option, it seems. And for developers, both models are on the API's chat completions and responses, though there might be some verification needed for orgs.
Okay, pretty broad access then. OpenAI is calling them their smartest models to date. Big claim.
Well, yeah. They're positioning O3 for the really complex analysis, while O4 Mini is the faster, cheaper, more speed-optimized version.
Right, so O4 Mini is maybe like an efficient version based on the next-gen architecture. Makes a bit more sense that way.
Perhaps. And the early feedback on O3 especially seems quite positive. Ethan Mollick compared it favorably to Gemini 2.5 Pro. Some reports even mention near-genius level hypothesis generation.
High praise. But what about benchmarks? Any hard numbers?
OpenAI released some data. They claim O3 makes about 20% fewer major errors than O1 on tough tasks. Strengths in programming, business consulting, creative stuff.
20% fewer errors is significant.
It is. They also highlighted good results for O4 Mini on Amy and O3 on coding and vision benchmarks like CEPABU Bench and MMU.
But these are OpenAI's own benchmarks.
Correct. So, take it with a grain of salt until there's more independent verification. And there have been some early reports of confabulations making stuff up confidently.
Right, the usual caveats apply. Always good to be critical. What about cost? Are these going to break the bank for developers?
Actually, it looks like good news there. API pricing for O3 is apparently lower than O1 was, significantly lower.
Oh, really? That's surprising.
Yeah. And O4 Mini keeps the pricing of its predecessor, O3 Mini. So potentially more power or similar power faster for less or the same cost. That's a win.
Definitely a plus. Now, every newsletter piece you mentioned, it had some practical takes on using O3.
It did. The author really liked its agentic quality, how it could handle multi-step tasks without constant hand-holding. They called it deep research light.
Interesting phrasing.
Yeah. They also noted it was fast compared to other top models, good at web search for research, coding, analyzing long docs, and interestingly, they felt it was less socially awkward.
Less socially awkward. How do you even measure that?
Uh-huh. Good question. But I guess it means the interaction felt more natural, less stilted. The author said it became their go-to model for most things. That's a strong endorsement from real-world use.
It really is. Okay, let's talk about this other thing OpenAI dropped. Codex CLI. This sounds aimed squarely at developers. The YouTube video was quite revealing.
Absolutely. It's an experimental tool, open source, runs in your terminal. They call it a lightweight coding agent.
So it connects the AI models like O3 directly to your local machine, your actual code.
Exactly. Right there in the command line. It can read your files, edit them, run commands.
Run commands. Is that safe?
They emphasize security. It runs sandboxed, network disabled, in full auto mode. But yeah, the potential is huge. Building features, whole apps even.
And the demo showed it adding dark mode to a site.
Yeah, it looked at the existing code base, open.fm I think it was, and just went in and edited the Tailwind CSS automatically.
Impressive. Saves a ton of boilerplate work. What else?
They also showed it building a web-based photo booth app just from a screenshot of a Mac app.
From a screenshot.
Yep. Used the webcam API, made sure it was landscape,
Yeah.
all without opening a regular code editor. They really pushed the multimodal reasoning aspect, understanding the visual input.
Wow. Generating an app from an image in the terminal. That's next level.
It feels like a big step.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to get people using it. There's a $1 million grant program offering API credits for projects using Codex CLI.
Smart move.
Yep.
Developers building with it.
And Ars Technica compared it to Anthropic's Claude Code, another terminal-based assistant. So there's definitely a trend here towards AI directly in the dev workflow. Seems like part of OpenAI's bigger push towards more autonomous agents.
It certainly feels that way. Which brings us to the last big item. The potential acquisition of Windsurf. CNBC reported this.
That's right. OpenAI reportedly in talks to buy Windsurf, which used to be Codeium. It's an AI coding help tool.
And the price tag mentioned was huge.
Around $3 billion, apparently, which would make it OpenAI's biggest acquisition by far.
$3 billion. Wow. So Windsurf competes with tools like Cursor and even OpenAI's own stuff, right?
Exactly. They're in that space of vibe coding, as Andrej Karpathy called it, using AI to quickly assemble code.
Vibe coding. I like that. So why would OpenAI shell out so much for a competitor?
It looks like a strategic play to just really cement their dominance in generative AI, especially the coding assistance part. Buy up a major competitor, integrate their tech, get their users, stay ahead of the curve.
Consolidate the market, basically. They've got some big VCs behind them, too, Windsurf does. Founders Fund, Kleiner Perkins.
Yeah, they're not a small fry. TechCrunch reported back in February they were raising funds at a valuation near $2.85 billion. So that $3 billion figure seems plausible in that context.
Okay, makes sense. So let's try and wrap this all up. What's the big picture here?
Well, you've got Grok pushing towards more interactive, collaborative AI workspaces with Grok Studio. That feels like a trend.
Right, and OpenAI is boosting raw intelligence with O3 and O4 mini better reasoning multimodal capabilities.
Plus, they're targeting developers directly with Codex CLI, integrating AI right into the coding process via the terminal.
And then potentially doubling down on that developer focus by buying Windsurf for a huge amount.
Exactly. So across the board, we're seeing AI becoming more capable, yes, but also more integrated, more accessible, and more targeted towards specific workflows like development.
It's not just about smarter chat anymore. It's about building tools with AI, having AI assist complex tasks more deeply.
Precisely. And for listeners, for people trying to keep up, this means more powerful tools are becoming available. Tools for learning, for creating content, maybe even for building software.
It could really change how people work and learn, having these more capable assistants readily available.
It really could. The pace is just incredible.
It is. And hey, if you listening want to keep up with deep dives like this, covering web dev, testing, DevOps, and all things tech, make sure you subscribe to the DTG channel.
That's DTG for DevTestGo. We try to break down these complex topics regularly.
Absolutely. So think about it. What really stood out to you from all this?
Yeah.
Could Grok Studio or O3 or Codex CLI fit into how you work or learn?
It's worth considering, and maybe a final thought to leave people with.
Go for it.
With AI now able to code from screenshots, understand diagrams, what completely new kinds of tools and apps might be just around the corner, things we haven't even thought of yet?
That is a fascinating question. Really makes you think about where this is all headed.
It does indeed.
Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the latest from Grok and OpenAI. Lots to process. And definitely check out the DTG channel and subscribe for more.